Hi, today we're going to learn how to set the cut order. This matters for two big reasons. First, a bad cut order can make a job take much longer than it should. Second, and more importantly, a poor cut order can cause parts to move during cutting. And when parts move, holes can end up in the wrong place and outside profiles can be cut incorrectly. There are other reasons we might need cutting to happen in a certain order too, but those two are the main ones. For this tutorial, we'll use the pattern of flanges with drill points that we created in the previous tutorial. We'll use this job to demonstrate the cut order settings and functions. If you remember, we used two different tools in this job, a 6mm router bit and a 3mm drill for the screw down points. That's common with CNC routers. But this concept applies to laser and plasma cutting as well. For example, you might have etching and cutting tool paths. In that case, you usually want to do the etching first, before cutting the parts free, so nothing moves. Or you might have a machine that does drilling and thread tapping. You must drill the hole first, and only then tap it, otherwise you can break the tap. Now let's go to the Layout toolbar, and click Cut Order Settings. This is a powerful function, but it can be confusing. So I'm going to simplify it and give you a practical setup that works well most of the time. First, you need to select Override Cut Order. Next, if you have tool paths that absolutely must be done first across the whole job, like drilling, marking, or engraving, then you should turn on Force All first. Then you choose the processes you want to run first, and put them in the correct order. To change the order, click an item in the list, and use the up and down arrows to shift its priority. This Force All first list takes priority over everything else. Use this sparingly for tool paths that are truly critical. Next, look for the Cut Order Preference box. Here's what I recommend. Put tool number at the top. This stops the machine constantly switching back and forth between tools. Instead, it will try to complete all paths with one tool. Then change to the next tool. That saves a lot of time. Next, put Shape Order in second place. That means the machine will finish all paths on one part with the current tool before moving to the next part. Third, I like to use Group Order. This isn't critical, but often speeds jobs up a little. Fourth, I like to put Cut Ordering. With these preferences, you'll usually get very good results. Now look at the tool order list. Because tool number is our top priority, this list defines the order the tools will run in. The machine will choose the highest priority tool first. Complete all cuts using that tool, then move on to the next tool. Finally, look at the tool path type order. This lets you control the order of tool path types, even when using a single tool. At first, this may seem redundant, but it's very useful. A router bit might be used for pocketing, drilling, engraving, and profile cutting, and a plasma or laser might be used for etching and cutting. So tool path type order still matters. Once these settings are configured, ToolShop will remember them, and it will automatically apply them whenever a cut order function is called. These are mostly set and forget settings, but you can tweak them later if needed. Okay, close cut order settings for now. Next, go to the View toolbar and turn on Show Cut Order. You'll now see a number beside each start point. At the moment, this is simply the order the tool paths were created in. Notice the drill points were created last, so they currently have the highest numbers. Now, here's what we want our cut order to achieve. First, we want the screw down points to cut first, so we can secure the sheet to the spoil board. Because we placed drill first in the Force All first section, this should happen automatically. Next, we want to do all cutting with the 6mm router cutter, and I want ToolShop to finish each flange completely before moving on to the next flange. Because we set Shape Order as a high priority, just below tool number, ToolShop will do exactly that. The reason I like finishing a part before moving on is simple. Sometimes vibration can cause movement. If you cut all holes across the sheet first, then come back and cut the external profiles later, some parts may shift slightly and no longer line up perfectly with the holes. Finishing each part gives the highest chance of success. Now let's run a cut order function. On the Layout toolbar, you'll see three options: Manual, Columns, and Rows. For this tutorial, choose Columns. This function works across the entire sheet, so you don't need to select anything first. Now set the number of columns. A value around 25 columns works well for many jobs. ToolShop divides the sheet into that number of columns and works through them in the direction you choose. Remember from the previous tutorial, we placed the lead-ins for the external parent shapes at the bottom right corner. Because we're cutting in climb, in other words, clockwise, this keeps the part connected to the sheet for as long as possible. To make that effective, we want to cut the parts in a general order from left to right across the sheet. So select, alternating, left to right, first column bottom to top. Yes, it's a long name, but it describes exactly what happens. ToolShop orders parts into columns from left to right, starts at the bottom of the first column, then zigzags up and down each column. This is a very efficient cutting pattern. Click OK to run the function. Now look at the results. You'll see the cut order numbers automatically update. If you want to quickly verify the order visually, go to Tweak Cut Order, then use Inspect Next and Inspect Previous to highlight the shapes one by one in sequence. Cut ordering by columns is fast, reliable, and great for whole sheets. You can also order by rows. It works the same way, but it moves across the sheet horizontally instead of vertically. The final method is manual cut ordering. This is excellent when you want a very specific cut order quickly. When you activate manual, you click where you want to start, then draw a line across the parts. ToolShop creates the cut order based on how close the start points are to that line and the general direction you draw it. It could be as simple as dragging a line from one corner to the other. And remember, all cut order methods still obey the rules you set earlier. In cut order settings, that's it for cut ordering. I hope this has given you a clear understanding of how cut ordering works and why it matters.